Hello, my beautiful fashionistas. Welcome back to Yvonne Winifred UG. I'm so happy to be here talking to you guys. How are you lately? And to all my new people, the new subscribers, first timers here, you are welcome. My name is Yvonne and this channel is Yvonne Winifred UG. So kindly you can subscribe. It is free to join this family and hit the notification bell so that you are reminded and notified whenever I upload a new video. We share fashion content here and some vlogs like travel vlogs here and there sometimes. And without any further ado, I want to start this video. So today we are talking the things to consider before joining fashion school. You guys, I remember when I first joined fashion school, I went to an institute, and to my surprise, there were many students that just joined without any knowledge, without anything in mind about fashion. So my number one point should be that you should know your why. Be specific of why you are joining the fashion school. Don't just join just because you've completed your high school and you need to be somewhere in a college, in an institute, or any university. Don't just join because of such a reason. Be specific of whether you just want the certificate or you just want the skill, or even both, because some people just want, to have the skill and they don't mind about the certificate. Others just want both, especially if you've just finished high school. And some people, like mostly adults who go back to school, they just want the skill or even both. It doesn't matter your age or where you are in life, but just be specific of what you really want from the fashion institute or fashion school, or wherever you choose to go to learn. And this even leads me to my number two. My number two is research. Do some research before joining. Fashion designing as a course in institutes, it's really broad. It goes beyond tailoring and garment construction. Most people tend to think that when you talk of fashion, it's all about tailoring and making clothes. Guys, it goes beyond all that. With research, after knowing your why, this is going to ease the process of choosing the school to join. Whether, if for example, if you want a certificate, you have to know which university to go to, which college, which institute to go to. Because guys, there are many schools. When you even talk about fashion school, that is really broad on its own. There are universities, colleges, there are these people that people tend to call roadside tailors, who really know how to sew and make garments, but they may not really know how to design. So this is where research comes in. You have to know whether you really want to be a fashion designer, somebody who illustrates the designs on papers, whether you want to be a fashion stylist, whether you just want to make garments, you want to sew, you are a seamstress. Guys, this is where the research comes in. Fashion as a course, fashion designing itself, it's really broad. So you have to know all this when you do your research. So don't just go and join fashion school without knowing this, because you might go and join a place where you want to be taught all this. I remember when we joined, for me, I really joined just because I wanted to know how clothes really come into place. But reaching at the school, the first thing I even noticed was that we had fashion design as a course, and then there was garment construction also as a different course, like tailoring, sewing was also such a course on its own. So guys, fashion designing is not all about sewing only. It goes beyond a lot of things. We learned about different fabrics. That was a course on its own. And guys, if you've chosen to just want to learn about a few things about fashion design, I mean, you won't know all about that. Then my number 3 is that fashion is costly, both money wise and when it comes to time. It is expensive, I have to say. You have to have some money to spare for different projects. For example, when you go to universities or college or institutes, you will have a variety of course units, and in each course unit you will have different projects to work on weekly. Guys, most of these projects you have to use your own money to fund them. You have to buy fabrics, you have to buy a lot of things that you need. And when it comes to the time bit of it, it is really time consuming. Guys, on different projects, different researches that you will be told to do, you have to spare time. So if you have a job somewhere, or if you have your own business and you've decided to spare a little time for your fashion classes, that might not be good. It might be challenging, because just making a garment when you are a beginner, it really takes time. Doing research, in most cases you need to maybe borrow a sewing machine if you don't have one, and if you have one, when you're a beginner, it is really not it is really challenging to sew at night. When you're a beginner, you it will be challenging to even sew at night. You'll be like, it is dark, I'm not seeing, the light is not enough. So it's really challenging. You have to spare time. Don't just join fashion school without thinking about all these things, guys, that I'm telling you. My number 4 is just, you should be open-minded. I remember when I first joined, or when I chose to join fashion school, I was like, I want to go and learn how clothes are made. I That was because I was just selling clothes, and I was like, but these clothes, I really need to go and know and see how they come into existence. So I joined the school, and it was really, at first, the first year, it was really theory, and there was a little bit of garment construction, and I was like, okay, so this is it. And I remember telling my friends that me, I won't be making any clothes for anybody. Maybe I'll only make clothes for myself, because I wasn't so much into sewing. I just wanted to maybe to have the theory part of it, of how clothes are made, and that really affected me. I found that sewing itself was challenging. I just fall in love with it later. Yet it was simple. So be open-minded, have faith in yourself. Some projects might be challenging, but with time you will find that they are easy. With time you'll find that it is beautiful to sew with a different variety of fabrics. Most people want only the exotic fabrics. I was like that myself, but right now I'm using Ankara, our Kitenge, our African fabrics so much, because the exotic fabrics will be so costly that if you're a beginner, you won't even have enough money to use only such fabrics. So be open-minded, be willing to learn a lot of things, be willing to find and fall in love with a lot of different things. Fashion is really, really broad. This even brings me to number 5, because fashion being broad, you will learn a lot of things. Be patient with yourself. There is a lot and a lot and a lot in fashion designing. You might become a fashion stylist, you might become a fashion designer, you might not even be a seamstress at all. So when you go to fashion school, don't just go there because you just want to learn how to sew. It is really broad. Maybe if you only want to sew, you can go to any, maybe the so-called roadside tailors, and learn whatever you want to learn. Be open-minded, have faith in yourself, be patient. Fashion is broad, and spare some money if possible, because it will be costly for you. You might want to give up, and know your why. Be specific of what you really want to do, because you can learn fashion from anywhere. Most of us are learning from the YouTube University, and I know of many designers that are so successful from just learning from here on YouTube. So that's all that I have to share simply today. And guys, thank you so much for listening to me or watching this video. I love you so much, and always remember that God loves you much. And I think I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye bye, ciao, see you, I love you. Don't forget to subscribe to Yvonne Winifred UG, and that's all for today.